Good evening. Tonight you're going to need a bolster and a block, or just grab a couple pillows and a rolled up towel. That ought to work just as well. And we're going to begin with breath. So if you'd like to go ahead and sit on your block or bolster to have your hips up higher than your knees, that might be a little more comfortable as we sit here and work on our breath. So you just want to root yourself down and sit up really tall. Shoulders are relaxed down the back, and you can close your eyes. Just come into this moment here. Notice where your breath is at. Maybe it's in your chest, maybe it's in your belly, maybe it's a combination of those two places. Just observe where the breath is at, observe the ease of it. Let go of anything that happened today, any thoughts you might have brought with you here, knowing that this next bit of time is for you and you alone. And it is for you to connect with your breath and to connect with your body and to let go of any thoughts. So we'll begin to focus on our breath, which helps us stay present in the moment. So we try to stay connected with the breath throughout our practice. Go ahead and empty your lungs out so we can breathe together. Inhale slowly for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale slowly 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And hold at the top of that inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. And inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And hold at the bottom for 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Checking in with the body, making sure you're not holding tension in the hips or the shoulders. Hold at the top of that inhale. And exhale. Hold. Inhale. Going right into the exhale. And hold at the bottom. Inhale. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Couple more breaths just like this. No pauses anymore. Just a nice fluid breath. Slow and smooth. Letting go of any last thoughts or last bit of tension. After those couple breaths, you can blink your eyes open. We'll extend our legs long on our mat, and they can be hip width apart. Now, if that is tough to sit here because that's pulling on your hamstrings, you can bend the knees a little if you need to, or even slide that bolster under the knees for support as well. So we're just going to sit up really tall. Make sure you engage Uddiyana Bandha, your low belly, and we'll start to twist to the right. And then as you do, you're going to bow to the earth, hands supported there behind you. It's not unheard of to get some pops here in that low back. Give it a couple deep breaths. Next inhale, let's come back up. Again, sitting up really tall, rooted down through the sit bones. Then we'll begin to twist to the left now. Bow to the earth. Hands supported behind you there. Couple deep breaths. And then let's inhale to come back up. Bring your feet together. Don't bring them in as close to your hips as you normally would if you were to take butterfly. We're just going to ease into this here with the hips to begin. If you're super tight, even having the feet away from you a bit, go ahead and place some pillows under the knees. We're going to do a little bit of a flow here. So on your inhale, you'll lengthen up. And then on your exhale, you'll twist to the right. You'll inhale back to center, lengthening, and then you'll exhale, twist to the left, just nice and gentle. And then you'll inhale back to center again. And on your exhale, tuck your chin to your chest and round yourself one vertebrae at a time, round forward and as far down as you can. And then you'll inhale, round yourself back up, stacking each vertebrae as you go. And then exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, roll yourself down. Nice and slow. Inhale, roll yourself up. Let's do it again. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, roll yourself down. Inhale, roll back up. Maybe a few shoulder rolls here at the top. And then we'll work our way into a tabletop position here so that we can do some cat-cow. We want to match the movement with our breath here. First, start by stacking the joints, hips over knees, shoulders over wrists, and we have just a little outward rotation here with the hands, and fingers are spread wide and they're active. So it just takes pressure out of the wrists here. On your inhale, drop your belly, rock your pelvis forward, and look up. And then exhale, push the ground away from you. Pull your belly button back towards the spine, and then finally tuck the chin towards the chest, arching the spine here. Inhale, hammocking the spine, looking up, and exhale, arch the spine. Rainbow the spine. Inhale. So match the movement with your breath. Try to first start with the belly button first on your inhales and your exhales, and then let the gaze be the last thing that moves each time at the top of the inhale and at the bottom of that exhale. Nice fluid movement with the breath. We'll do one more round. and meet with a neutral spine then. So the next thing we're going to do here is a little balance challenge, but also we're going to be working our core strength here. You're going to bring your right hand behind the head, and that elbow is going to point down towards the mat to begin, and it'll be moving up, kind of like a little chicken wing here. And then your left leg will be what's moving since we have our right hand on our head. Then we're going to be lifting. When we lift that elbow up, that left knee is going to come up, kind of like a dog at a fire hydrant. And then you'll bring it all back down. So 1, and then back up on your inhale, down for 2. Inhale, 3. Inhale, 4. You want to be mindful. Inhale, last one. Mindful of that hand and knee that's on the mat, really pushing into the mat. Go ahead and release it down. Make sure everything's still stacked. Joints are stacked here, and we'll do the opposite arm and leg. So what's connected to the mat, you really want to be pushing the ground away from you, and your belly is really engaged. So our core is working to hold us steady here. So left hand behind the head, and then inhale, elbow rises and right knee out. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Last one. Inhale. Good. Go ahead. Let those big toes touch. Bring the knees out about as wide as your mat. Sit back on the heels and reach your arms forward, coming down into child's pose. And it's okay if your hips aren't touching your heels. You want your forehead on the mat. So get your forehead on the mat and really stretch those arms out long, stretching through the entire spine, keeping the belly engaged. And then if your hips aren't all the way down on your heels, maybe you'd like to put a little pressure into your palms and see if you can't sink the hips a little bit more. Really feel that stretch in the hips. Breathe into it. You're welcome to put a little rock across the forehead, into the shoulders if you'd like. We're going to stay here for about 5 to 7 more breaths. And use your hands to walk yourself back up. And we're going to just come to the middle of our mat, and we're going to set up in a squat here. So for some, you may like to come up against a wall if you need some support behind you, or you might like to take that block and sit on the block. You can usually put it at whatever level you need it at there. Also helpful to roll up a blanket or a towel and place it under your heels if you are having a hard time keeping the feet flat. But come into it, and then if you're able to, you're welcome to keep your hands down on the ground for support if you need to. But if you're not needing the hands for support, bring the hands together in prayer at the chest, allowing those elbows to press into the knees. Feel a deep stretch there in the hips, and we're going to breathe deeply into it. You're trying to keep your chest lifted and hips low, as low as you can. Might be tough if you're needing to use that wall for support or a block. Just do the best you can. As long as you're feeling that stretch in the hips, then you're achieving all the same benefits. 2 more breaths. And then we will bring our feet together. We're going to take toe stand here. So you're going to lift those heels up high, bring your feet together, knees together, and you can keep your hands down on the ground for support if you need to. If you're able to kind of get those fingertips lifted so that you can stack your shoulders over your hips, you're going to be able to balance better. Then you could bring your hands to prayer in front of the chest again. You want to think about pressing the knees away from you here. You're lightly sitting on the heels. You will start feeling this in your feet and in your ankles, which is fine. It's okay for it to be a little uncomfortable. You're working on those muscles. And truth be told, we all really need help in this area because we wear really supportive shoes that actually weaken our feet. So we're just building that strength up. And you might be feeling that right now. And that's okay. Stick with it. We're going to take 2 more breaths. Hands on the mat for support, and we'll come to a forward fold. So you're going to stand up, straighten the legs up as much as you can, and you can just keep your hands down on the ground for support for a little while. Your feet are hip width apart. You let your head hang heavy, and your knees can be bent as much as you need to here. That's fine. Now bend your knees a little more. We're going to interlace our hands, our fingers behind the head, and you're going to rest your hands, interlaced hands, right there at the base of the skull. And just allow that extra weight to pull. It's just a gentle tug. It should feel very nice. There's really no overdoing it here. We're not purposely pulling or um, anything like that. It's just a little extra weight there in the head, stretch in the neck and the between the shoulders. Now you're going to really bend the knees and get those hips underneath you, still letting the hands give some weight to the head and keeping that head heavy. You're going to roll yourself up to standing. And then as you unroll the head, you're going to bring the elbows back, lift the chest, look up, put some pressure with your head into your hands there. Big stretch. Good. Go ahead and release your arms to your side. Again, a few shoulder rolls if you'd like, maybe a few neck rolls. And we'll meet at the top of our mat. And we're going to do 4 sun, or not sun salutations, moon salutations. So lots of steps to these. You really want to move with your breath. So the breath needs to be nice and slow here. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up towards those thumbs, stretching the body. Then exhale, forward fold, hanging over the legs. Inhale, send that left leg back and drop the knee. You're coming up into a low lunge. So a couple options. You can reach the arms up and look up for that, or just keep the hands on the knees for it. Then on your exhale, you're going to step back into downward dog. Inhale, drop your knees, come into cow, hammocking that spine once again. And then exhale, sit back, child's pose. Inhale into a kneeling position. Reach the arms up, really stretch the torso. And then exhale, hands together in prayer behind the head. Come down onto your elbows. If that's too difficult, just take another child's pose. On your inhale, reach your arms out, shift forward onto your belly, and lift your chest for cobra. Exhale, back into downward dog. Inhale the left foot forward now. We'll drop that back knee. Take the second side for this low lunge. And then exhale, plant your hands. Step your right foot to meet the left and fold. Inhale, back up to standing. Circle sweep up the arms, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward, pull the belly in. Inhale, we'll step the right foot back this time. Drop the knee, low lunge. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, cow. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, reach up in that kneeling position. Exhale, another child's pose or down on the elbows. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale the right foot forward, low lunge. Exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale up to standing, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive forward, belly pulled in. Inhale the left foot back, low lunge. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, cow. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, onto the elbows. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, step forward and fold. Inhale, up to standing, reaching up, looking up. Last one, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, right foot back, low lunge. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, cow. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, elbows. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right foot forward. Exhale, step forward, fold. Inhale, reach up to standing. Exhale, hands through heart center. Come into mountain pose. Take a breath there. We are going to get your block handy. You may want to use that here in a sec. So you're just going to keep your right foot planted at the top of your mat and step back with the left. So we have about 4 feet or so between our heels, and we have that back foot turned and planted. So we're going to get our hips to face the left side of our mat, push down into the front foot. Keep your tailbone slightly tucked here and belly tight. If you have just naturally that anterior tilt in the pelvis, then you're not going to get as much out of this stretch if you keep your hips in that position. So you think about sort of tucking the tailbone a bit there. You're going to reach that right arm up like you're going to touch the ceiling. Feel that right rib cage lift away from the hip bone, and then reach back, pushing into that front foot. Big stretch along the right side of the body. You can take it further if you want. You can grab the wrist, the right wrist with your left hand, and give it a tug. You're welcome to just look straight ahead here, so there's really no tension in the neck. Focus on that stretch you're creating on the right side of the body. Now we'll go ahead and come out of that. And we're going to come into extended triangle. So here's where you might like to have your block on the outside of your right foot. And you can bring your hand or your fingertips to the top of that block. If that's too low, then just use your hand on your thigh or your shin. We're not going to reach the left arm up today. I want you to focus on rolling the left hip back, rolling the left ribs back, and that left shoulder back. And so you can use your hand, your left hand, to sort of adjust the hips there. You're welcome again to just look straight ahead here. Push into your left heel. Maybe energetically draw the feet towards one another, activating the inner thighs a bit more. And then we'll go ahead and inhale, come up, step to the top of your mat and switch feet. So keep that left foot planted and we'll step the right foot back now. So hips pointing to the right side of your mat here. Keep that tailbone heavy and belly tight. And you're going to reach the left arm up, really stretching, really lifting through here and take it over. Maybe then taking that right hand to the left wrist and giving it a pull, pushing into the feet, keeping your hips right under you. So you don't want to be popping your hip out to either side. You want them under you and lifting up out of the waist. And then we'll come out and into our extended triangle. So whether you have the block or maybe you just keep your hands on your shin or your thigh, you want to allow your torso to be in line with that left leg. And then focus on trying to bring the right hip back a little more, right ribs back a little more, opening the chest, right shoulder back a little more. Good. Go ahead and come back up. We'll turn the left toes in and take a wide leg stretch here. So again, you might like to have your block so you can take a nice supported stretch. So come down, you can have your hands on your block, or if you'd like to take a grip with the feet, you can do that as well. But then whatever version you're going to take, you want to inhale with your hands wherever they're at, and then exhale into it. And so maybe you use your block. If you're able to come down enough, maybe use your block to rest your head once you come down. I'm going to try to relax into this a little bit. And if your head isn't coming all the way down to your block, keep in mind that you can always stack two fists between your block and your head to give yourself a little more space there. We'll take about 3 more breaths. Now, to come out of this, we'll make sure we have our hands on the mat or the block for support, and we'll come up halfway. Looking forward there, we'll just pause and take an exhale. And then we'll come all the way up on the inhale. You can step to the front of your mat again and take a breath there. We'll keep the right foot planted and step our left foot back, drop that knee. So we're coming down, left knee is stacked right under that left hip. And our knee and our right foot are in two different lanes of traffic here on our mat because we want hip width apart. So you want a nice solid foundation. You're going to bring your right hand out. It's going to press to the inside of your right knee. And we're going to take a little bit of a twist here. We're going to get a nice stretch in that left hip. So you're going to start to turn towards that left side of your mat, and you can come down a little bit as well. And keep tension between your forearm, your wrist, hand, whatever is touching the inside of that knee there. And come into your twist, pushing down into that left knee. So you should already feel a nice stretch there. And if you'd like to go deeper with it, you'll lift your left arm up and over as well. So keeping that pelvis neutral again. You don't want that anterior tilt where you're popping your booty out. Keep the tailbone heavy. And then if you're doing this right, you feel a nice big stretch in your psoas, deep in your psoas and your hip flexors here. We'll go ahead and come out of that. Bring your left hand to the outside of your right knee and reach your right arm back as you come into a twist to the other direction, looking towards that right thumb. Good. Go ahead and come out of that. And we'll just switch legs. So right knee under that right hip and step the left foot forward. Again, now left arm extends and we're pressing that hand or wrist or forearm up against the left knee, coming into that twist a bit and then deciding, does that feel like enough of a stretch and I'm going to stay here, or do I want to take it further, reach that right arm up and over in our twist? Good. Go ahead and come out of it. Right hand to the outside of the left knee. Reach the left arm back. Come into your twist. Anytime you're twisting, you want to make sure Uddiyana Bandha is engaged. Belly button pulled back towards the spine. Low belly engaged. And we'll come on out of that. Plant your hands. Step back into downward dog. Take a breath here. Next, inhale, come forward into an upward dog. You can allow your legs to rest on the mat. Push into your hands so shoulders don't hunch up to the ears, and look up slightly. Your legs are separated, hip width apart or more. And then exhale back into child's pose, sitting on your heels, reaching your arms out, forehead to the mat. Pause here for an inhale. Exhale to downward dog again. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, child's pose. Stay for an inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, child's pose. We'll inhale, sit up. We're going to take a supported child's pose here and we'll hold it for a couple minutes. So here's where you'll take your bolster or your pillows, place them long ways along the mat here, and then you're going to rest your chest, your torso along the bolster and just relax your arms to the side. And your head can be in either direction here. So when we have our torso supported on a bolster or pillows and we're not coming down as far, we're not putting as much weight in the low body there. So it gives your ankles and knees and hips a little bit of a break which makes it a little more accessible to hold this for a couple minutes. If you're still feeling like there's quite a bit of tension in those areas in the low body, you could also roll up a towel or blanket and place under your hips between your knees there, or between the lower part of your legs and the upper part of your legs, right behind the knees. Um, or sit on your block even. So set yourself up and settle into it then. And allow yourself to begin to relax, remembering to stay focused on the breath. And anytime thoughts wander into your mind, just notice that it happened and let them go. Let those thoughts pass by. Meditation is the space that we have between our thoughts. So that space between the last thought and the next thought. That is meditation. And so when we first begin yoga, it can be really hard to find any of those spaces within our practice because our mind is just overworking, trying to learn something new. But as you practice more and more and you get used to the postures, then there's less to think about. And you can truly just connect with your breath and quiet your mind and then leave with such a blissful feeling at the end of your class. And that's the goal. And just know that if you're not there today, that's so normal. That's so okay. And you'll get there. It just takes practice, like anything does. We'll be here about another minute. So just notice the sensations you're experiencing in your body. Hopefully, you're feeling relaxed, but maybe this is tough to relax because maybe your knees or your hips or something in the low body there is causing some tension. As long as it's not a pain, a sharp pain, or something that should be addressed, then just try to observe the sensation and don't label it good or bad. Don't attach any opinions or feelings to it. Just notice it and just know that we're almost done here. Three more nice slow breaths. When you're ready, then very carefully sit back up using your hands for support there. You can remove your bolster out of the way so that you can sit on your mat. We're going to continue with the forward folds, which is good news. They're nice and relaxing. So extend your left leg out and bring your right foot in. And we're going to do a supported forward fold over our leg. So set yourself up here. Maybe you just want to use a block and two fists to rest on. Maybe you'd like to place a bolster on the block and lay across it so it's not just your head that's supported, but your entire torso supported as you're folding over that left leg. So we feel this stretching in our hamstring. We also feel this in our right hip. You want to try to relax the hip flexors there on the right side so that right knee can come down towards the mat. And if that knee needs some support, you could also put a pillow or blanket under that knee. We also feel a nice stretch along the low back on the right side. So settle into it, relax into it. Again, still observing sensations, but never with judgment. Just connect with the breath. For some of us, this type of class is so much harder than a power class or an Ashtanga class, something that's really physically kind of grueling. This is just so much harder to sit and be quiet and do nothing. We're so unused to that. So, this is where we can practice letting go of that feeling of needing to do something all the time, connecting with ourself. And we'll take 5 more breaths on this side. And then, very carefully, use your hands to help you sit up. And we'll switch. Right leg will go out now, and the left foot will come in. Then set up similarly to how you were set up on the other side, and then settle into it. Remembering that you can always come down deeper later as your body loosens up in this position and gets used to being here, and you're able to release some tension maybe in your low back or your hips, your hamstring. Then maybe you can come down a little lower. Try to tune into your shoulders, your jaw, typical areas that we tend to hold tension and we tend to tense up without even realizing it. Try to be mindful of those areas as you relax into these postures. Oftentimes, you'll find that you're not fully relaxed. Let's take 5 more breaths here on this side. And then carefully using your hands again to help you sit back up. We'll move everything to the side here momentarily just so that we can set up in butterfly, and then we're going to use those things that we set aside to support ourselves in forward fold here in butterfly. So however you want to set up, again, if you'd like just to have the block and stack your fists, or maybe your forehead can get on the block, or maybe you want your entire torso supported, and then you can set up the bolster on the block or your pillows, whatever you have there, and relax over it. Just whatever you'd like. Coming down as deep as you'd like. Again, remembering that you can always come down deeper later on as hips open, as things release, as your body gets used to being here. Nice, deep, slow breathing. It's what's going to release tension in the body. Let's take 5 more breaths. Carefully inhale yourself back up. You can just keep your legs like this. And we're going to take a reclined butterfly now. So take your bolster or your pillows and you're going to place them underneath the shoulder blades. So supporting your upper back there. So your arms kind of come up over this pillow. And you can decide whether you've got your arms out wide, or maybe you'd like to bring your arms straight up and stretch a little more into the shoulders here. And if you're really tight or uncomfortable in the hips, just place a rolled up blanket or some pillows or blocks under the knees for support. But find where you can relax into this. Making sure that whatever version of the arms you took, you're able to relax. Relax through the chest and the shoulders. Relax in the low back. We don't want to overarch too much in the spine here. And we'll take 5 more breaths here. And after that fifth breath, we're going to bring the knees together. And just because our legs have been like this for a while, you might feel it helpful to use your hands to support your legs to bring them together. And just keep the knees bent. You can bring your feet to the floor here. And we're going to cross. You can keep the bolster under you if you're liking that. You're welcome to lose it and set it off to the side as well. We're going to cross our right leg over our left. And again, arms can be out wide, or you can keep those arms up above your head. You're going to take the legs and drop them to the right side of your mat for a little twist here. And try to relax as much into it as you can. Noticing that stretch, how it crosses the midline of the body and goes up. You should feel this in that left shoulder across the chest. And again, you can have a block or a pillow or something under the knees if they need some support when you're coming down. If they're not coming all the way down to the ground, you need a little support there under the knees. 3 more deep breaths here. And then you'll carefully bring your knees back up, and you're going to let them fall to the left side of your mat now. Coming into twist on the other side. We'll take 3 more breaths here. And then let's bring our knees back up, uncross the legs. Just let the knees knock together here. Take a breath. And then we'll cross the left leg over the right. And now we're dropping the legs to the left side first. Supporting the knees if you need to. If you're able to relax into this and let those knees fall a little lower as you release tension, you'll start really feeling that stretch in the right hip, down that IT band. And depending on where you have your arms, you can even be feeling that stretch across the front of your right shoulder and in that chest, across the chest. 3 more breaths. Carefully inhale, bring those legs up, and then exhale them over to the right side of your mat. supporting them if you need to. Three more breaths here. Bring the knees back in. Knock the knees together here, feet flat on the mat, and take a breath. And then we'll hug our knees in and rock forward up to a seat. And we're going to finish off here with a little breath work. Not much because we only have a few minutes left. We're going to end with the breath that we started with. So, here to end, if you would like to take a mudra with the first finger and the thumb and palms facing up, gently resting on the knees and the other three fingers glued together. Still rooting down through your sit bones, sitting up nice and tall through the entire spine. Empty the lungs. And then we'll inhale together for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Inhale. And hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 3 more rounds of breath here, no pauses. Nice, slow, controlled breath. After that third exhale, if you'd like to bow to your practice and then find Shavasana, lie down on your back, completely relax, let go, and enjoy Shavasana here as long as you're able to. Namaste.